Hi, everybody. My name is Alex Halvorson, and I work with ISA and TEAN. I'm going to give you a little presentation today about just kind of who we are in general, and give you some helpful programs for exercise science majors as well. I just wanted to let you see my face before I start sharing, just so you can actually see who's actually giving the presentation. But we will get started right now. All right, so you should be able to see the screen here. Nice little photo of these students of ours doing some scuba diving, but let's get her going. So who are we? Who is ISA and TEAN? We're leading providers of education abroad. We have programs in over 30 different countries around the world. You can kind of see them all, wherever you want to go. They're all kind of listed on this nice little map here. And we have a wide variety of options, whether it be just kind of your standard study abroad, internships, service learning. We have research opportunities, virtual opportunities, and some Christian faith-based opportunities as well. So a lot of different locations and a lot of different types of international education that you can get studying with ISA and TEAN. So what do we do? What do you get when you study abroad with us? So we do a little bit of everything. We're trying to make study abroad as easy as it can possibly be, from the moment you decide that you're interested in study abroad to the moment you return. We've got staff domestically here that kind of that can help you work through the application process, whether it be just trying to figure out the right program, working through your application once you've chosen your program, getting visa support, whatever it might be. We're here to get you from A to B. And then once you get abroad, we have on-site staff in every single one of our locations. They'll pick you up from the airport. They'll bring you to wherever you're going to be staying, whatever your housing option is. And then they're there as a resource for you kind of throughout the entire time that you're abroad. And then on top of that, even when you get back, we have an alumni team that's also available for you as a resource if you need to, just kind of debrief about your experience. You want to talk to other students, you want to write a blog for us. There's a lot of different options for when you return as well. Bottom line, we're with you every step of the way, trying to support you and make sure that your experience is as smooth and impactful as possible. So ISA versus TEAN, you've heard me mention ISA and TEAN a couple of times here. So ISA is International Studies Abroad. TEAN is the Education Abroad Network. That's what they stand for. Like it says right there, two sides of the same coin. So we offer, if we think about that map that I showed you earlier, we have programs all throughout the world in a variety of different countries and continents. TEAN operates programs in the Asia Pacific region, and then ISA operates programs in Latin America, South America, Africa, Europe. So that's sort of an easy way to think about it. If you want to go study abroad in Australia or New Zealand, you'll be, or South Korea or China, Thailand, wherever it is, you'll be with TEAN. And if you want to go to Costa Rica or South Africa or Spain, you'll be with ISA. But we work together. It's essentially just branding. But if you're deciding whether to study abroad with TEAN or ISA, just again, let us make it simple right there. ISA covers all our programs in Europe, Latin America, Africa, TEAN, Asia, and the Pacific. So wherever you want to go, we're here to help you out. But that's just to help clarify as we move forward. So why study abroad? You're listening to this, so you already have an interest, but hopefully this kind of helps solidify, your desire to go abroad. So, it cultivates your cultural awareness, gain new perspectives on the world and history, flex your foreign language skills, get comfortable outside your comfort zone. I think that's a really big deal, especially, maybe if it's your first time flying internationally. It's a great opportunity to kind of gain some independence and just kind of learn a little bit more about yourself, grow in ways you never knew possible, form lifelong cross-cultural friendships. I myself studied abroad. I studied abroad with ISA in Granada, Spain, which is in the southern part of Spain. And I can attest to all of these and more. Another really, really great thing that happens when you study abroad is that it kind of it increases you professionally. So I can't think of an interview that I've had since I studied abroad where since I studied abroad where the study abroad wasn't brought up in an interview. It's kind of that, one thing that's going to set you apart even just a little bit more than the other people who are right next to you interviewing for the same job that graduated with the same major. So definitely keep that in mind as sort of just one thing to set you apart from the rest of the crowd. So we've got a program for every major. Obviously, you're here as an exercise science student, wondering what programs we have, but we've got a ton of different options, from biology to visual arts to exercise science, kinesiology, anatomy. A lot of students will just go and take generals, or they'll do a little bit of both. I think saving some generals for when you go abroad is a great option, just because, if you're going to go spend a semester in New Zealand, you don't want it to be your hardest, heaviest workload that you're going to have in college. We recommend to just take a couple or, 2 or 3 maybe exercise science courses, and then get a couple generals so you can learn a little bit more about the culture, and get those credits to transfer back as well. So keep in mind that we've got a ton of different options for all majors, and it's always easy to kind of mix in some of your major courses with some generals as well. So getting started, these are some screenshots of both the ISA website on top of the screen and the TEAN website on the bottom of the screen. I think one of the most useful tools that we have is called our program finder. And both ISA and TEAN have that. I'll obviously leave this screen up for a little while, so if you can copy down those links there, so you can get to the page, but essentially it just helps you filter where you want to go. So as you can see, you can filter by, the type of, study abroad that you want, whether it's an internship or service learning or just a general study abroad. You can filter by your area of study. So you can filter by exercise science. If you only want to go to Europe, or if you only want to go to South America, you can filter by destination. If you can only go in the fall, you can filter by that. By semester, you can filter by language of instruction. If you just want to, go somewhere that's going to have English. There's a lot of different ways that you can filter to kind of help you figure out exactly where you want to go, and gives you program options that are going to be the right fit for you, academically and personally. So we definitely, I encourage you to kind of copy down those links. They're both available on the websites, but that's kind of just an easy way to get there. Also on our website, we do have a course form. So if you're looking for a specific course, maybe you need an anatomy and kinesiology course, you can submit that to us, and then we'll send you back some options for different programs we have that offer anatomy and kinesiology courses. We have our academic guides that are sort of just general guides as to where, it'll kind of list all facets of exercise science and of health, just health and exercise science in general, whether it's, health science, nursing, nutrition, public health, sports and leisure, whatever it might be. You can the academic guides will filter that and will show you where in general you can take courses on that subject area. And then again, we have our program advisors as well. So at the end of this, I'll have some contact info, but that's sort of where you start. If you have questions, you kind of get in touch with them and they can point you in the right direction. So we'll move on to the next. So the specifics. So once you go on the website, you filter it, you find a course that you want. This top version here is the ISA website, and this is a really good example of what it'll look like. So it'll do the program overview, which kind of just gives you the dates, a general overview of the university. It'll give you some costs as well of the program. So check that out. It'll show you what's included. You can click academics and it'll show you the course offerings there. Support and funding. It'll tell you, some ways that you can apply for some of our scholarships. And it'll give you your some ISA contacts as well, and it'll show you who our staff is abroad and domestic as well. Housing, it'll show you what are the housing options. So that will kind of vary from program to program. Sometimes you can stay in a homestay, you can stay in a student residence or like a dorm style housing. The option might be apartments, or sometimes you can even opt to choose your own housing if you want to do that as well. And then, of course, we have excursions on all of our programs. So you click that and it'll show you all the excursions that are available that are also all included in the cost of the program. So really helpful to just kind of get the basics of that program. And that'll be listed for any program you're looking for. So when it comes to exercise science programs, these are a few options that are really, really great. We have summer and semester options, whatever's going to work for you. We want to help you find the right fit. And this is not exhaustive. These are just some that are really popular. So New Zealand and Australia Those are two really popular locations in the Pacific that have a ton of exercise science courses. South Africa in Port Elizabeth, really great location for exercise science. In the UK, we have Ireland, Scotland, London. Those are all, we all have some great options there for exercise science. And then Costa Rica is another really good one too. We have some other locations where you can kind of take some select courses here and there, but I would say those are the ones that stand out the most to me. New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, London, Costa Rica. We even have some in China as well. So hopefully there's something there that, that works for you. And again, I always recommend just to take, a few courses from your major and then get a couple generals in there as well, just so you're kind of learning a little bit more about the culture while you're, working through some of your major courses. So at the bottom, that's important to note there. So some programs are still closed due to COVID, and U of L still has health and safety review. So we always encourage you to stay in contact with the study abroad office, because they're also approving, we have programs that we're not allowing students to go on, but so does your study abroad office. So make sure you connect with them just to make sure you can know exactly what those programs are. So time is on your side. You might be looking at some of those programs from the previous page, and maybe there's summer, maybe this semester, you're trying to figure out which one's the right fit for you. We have a ton of different options, whether it's short-term, intensive month and J-term options, post-grad internships. We've got programs that range anywhere from, about 2 weeks all the way up to doing an academic year, which is about 9 or 10 months. So there's a wide variety of program options. Like it says in there, there's intensive months. So we have some J-term options, some sort of spring break, May-term options. There's a lot of different varieties of programming that you can do. We want to make it fit in your schedule so that every student has an opportunity to get abroad sometime during their undergraduate degree. So let's talk funding. 50% of ISA students and TEAN students use financial aid to pay for their program. And over 75% of ISA students will receive a grant, scholarship, or discount directly from ISA or TEAN for their program. So keep that in mind. If you already use financial aid or scholarships, it's very likely you'll be able to use those to go abroad. We of course encourage you to connect with your study abroad office and your financial aid office just to verify if you're already getting a scholarship, if you can use that on a study abroad program. We're an approved provider with U of L, so it's likely you can, but you always want to check with the financial aid office just to verify that. But we encourage you to start planning now. Of course, we've got some budgeting tools available on our website. And there's some contact information there just for you to kind of get started. So another really helpful thing is to hear from our alumni. So down below here, there's some links. So the top one is for the ISA alumni and the bottom one is for the TEAN alumni page. So check those out. I think it's a really good way if you're maybe sort of wavering between two cities, two countries. You can go and see what other students just like you have said about that program. There's a lot of different blogs. Sometimes they're academic, sometimes they're more about the country and sort of maybe the social aspect of it. But we encourage you to just go check that out, because it's a really good way to just kind of hear firsthand from a student who went there recently, exactly what their experience was in that country. And like it says right here, you can search exercise science or Louisville to hear from alums from your university. So try that out. I think it's a great way to just kind of start your research. We do have some virtual opportunities. If you don't want to go abroad, or it's just not going to work out while you're during your undergraduate degree, we do have some options. So we have remote learning programs where you can take courses that are sort of asynchronous but have some virtual and recorded content in a variety of different locations. We have global remote internships where you do an internship with a foreign country, a foreign company, and everything is done remotely. And then we also have something called career semester, which is sort of a combination of coursework and an internship. So we're happy to help explore that a little bit more with you if that's something that you'd be interested in. These were kind of created out of COVID to make sure that students had options to get some sort of international education experience. But we've kept them on our portfolio because there's a lot of students that found them interesting and worthwhile. So what's next? We want to help make your study abroad dreams come a reality. So take the first step, like it says there. Our contact information is there, our phone number, email. You can check us out on Instagram at ISA Abroad or at TEAN Abroad. Kind of check out, we're usually posting student photos and things like that. But while you're connecting with us, we definitely encourage you to connect with your study abroad office. You'll just want to make sure you know any requirements that they have, find out about using financial aid towards an ISA or TEAN program, and then you definitely want to understand how your credits are going to be transferred. Because when you go abroad, you want to make sure all your credits are going to transfer back. I think it's a misconception that you're going to go, if you study abroad, you're going to fall behind. That's not the case. If you just make sure you work with your academic advisor and your study abroad office to make sure all the courses are pre-approved before you go, then that way, you know, you won't fall behind and everything will come back. And you'll just kind of move on from that semester onto the next. And that's really all I've got. I'm going to keep this up for just a little while longer, just so you can copy down any of that contact information that you want. But we're here to help you out, and there's a lot of great exercise science programs out there. So, like I said, I'll just keep this up for a minute, and then we'll end it. All right, stop sharing there, and we will pause the recording.